Welcome to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973, an inspirational podcast about the ups and downs of life and everything in between. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Talk with Liquidshano. I'm your host. I'm the guy that gets on the microphone and talks and raps a little bit and chats with you about life and about everything we're trying to be able to accomplish and the things we're trying to do, and hopefully gives you a good sense of direction and focus and just some motivation to be able to go out and be the best version of yourself. Now, if you're not familiar with this podcast, because I do have some newer listeners, some people that I've just picked up along the way over the past couple weeks here, this podcast is all about positive reinforcement towards being the best version of you. No matter what we're going through, and no matter what's thrown at us, no matter how many obstacles that we have to overcome, no matter whatever place that we have to go to, and whatever things that we have to go through to get to wherever we need to go, the purpose of this is to be able to just kind of navigate how that goes. It started off a long time ago with a weight loss podcast that I was on, just talking about losing weight and those kind of things, which I've struggled with, and we've talked about over the last few episodes here. I'm trying to get back on track with that anyway. But, you know, most people that try to be able to accomplish goals or try to be able to do things need an outlet. They need a place to go to. They need a diary. They need something to be able to sit down and write down their thoughts and have conversations or talk to people or listen to people that are going through the same kind of crap that you're going through. And that's the purpose of this podcast, is people can log in and go, oh, wow, you know what? I listened to Shane yesterday, and that's exactly what I'm going through. I've got a bunch of people over the last maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. On the last episode that was there, I got a lot of great feedback from people. One, they were saying that the quality sounded really good. Others were saying that, you know, just in general of this is how I'm feeling. And you've given me some focus and direction for me to be able to move forward. So that's the purpose of this podcast. The purpose is to be able to help others through my own journeys, through the things that I've been through, the obstacles that I've overcome, the things that I go through on a daily. For me to be able to get on here and either vent about things or celebrating things or be able to live, you know, my best life however I can, I do it through this medium. I do it through this podcast. I do it through this microphone. I do it with all of you. All of you rooting me along the way is such an invigorating and amazing experience that I know that I have a tribe of people that are standing behind me, lifting me up and basically pushing me forward with whatever direction that I have to go in. So there's a couple exciting things that have been happening lately, and I wanted to share this with you because, you know, like I just said, this is my vlog, or my, I guess, audio vlog or whatever. The podcast is for me to be able to sit down and talk about all the things that I'm going through and celebrating some of the things that are exciting for me. So first of all, I was nominated this last week for the thing called the Cheer Choice Awards. Now, in a future episode, I'm going to be bringing on the CEO of SpreadTheCheerUSA.org. She's going to be coming on board. I just booked her. We're talking about lining up a date that we can sit down and have a conversation so you can hear all about this amazing charitable organization that they put together to help families during the holidays and whatever else. But every year they get together and they reach out to social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is. And they ask people, would you like to nominate some of your favorite creators? Would you like to nominate somebody that does something good for other people or uses their social media platforms in a good fashion to be able to give back to others, celebrate in others, and be able to lift others up and encourage other people? And I was nominated in 2 categories, amazingly enough, in 2 categories. The one that I think I'm most proud of to be nominated for was under the motivation and inspiration category, which I'm amongst some very, very, very high people that have lots of following and lots of numbers and everything else. But I'm still humbled and honored that I would be even thought of in that category, to be put into a space where I'm thought of as other individuals that are out there motivating and inspiring people to go and be the best version of themselves, continue to push forward, continue to be the great person that they're meant to be, and those kind of things. My second category that I got nominated for was for art. Now, this is a category that mostly is probably around my avatars that I've done for hundreds and hundreds of people to be able to raise money and give back to society. give back to the service industry. I give back to veterans' homes. I give back to homeless shelters. I give back to all kinds of different places through the money that I raise by drawing artwork for people, making their face into like a cartoon figure, bringing in their two favorite colors, and incorporating it so that they could use on any of their platforms, such as Instagram or TikTok or whatever direction they wanted to go in. So I'm honored by the fact that I was nominated by individuals that wanted to put me up to be able to celebrate in that. So I made it past the first round, and now I'm in the final round of voting. And still both of those categories, some of my friends that also got nominated have been bounced out because they didn't move forward. And so here I am with a possibility of winning in a category that in April, we're going to go out to Vegas and celebrate in winning an award. It's just amazing to me. And here's what's amazing about it. It's not one of those moments when I want to sit back and I want to say, hey, look at me, woe is me, or look at me, I'm amazing, I'm incredible. No, what's amazing to me is one, to be nominated amongst all the different social media influencers that are out there in the world. Here I am, this small town Maine guy that's on there that gets nominated and continues to move forward in this space where people are inspired or motivated by me. I'm humbled and amazed. It's incredible to me. So if you get a chance, go to spreadthecheerusa.org. All one word, spreadthecheerusa.org, and you'll get to the voting buttons, and you can vote for me in either one of those categories if you want to. If you're so inclined to going on there and helping me to be able to try to compete with some of these other huge creators, and who knows, maybe pull a win out of this one. That'd be amazing. So, okay. So that's the first thing that I'm working on right now. So basically the second thing that I'm working on that I think I've told a couple of you or told you guys here on this podcast about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was coming up with some ideas as we're heading into the month of February. Now, as you know, the month of February can be really difficult for people. Why? Because we're coming up on Valentine's Day. Now, if you're in a great relationship or you're in a relationship with somebody for long periods of time and you guys are soulmates and you're good to go and you found your significant other and you're in a really good place and you're dating or you're married or whatever else, Valentine's Day can be a pretty special time, right? Flowers, chocolates, cookies, cakes, celebration, jewelry, marriage proposals, whatever else, right? You get all these different things going on. And the way that the holiday exists is that a lot of people spend a lot of money on a lot of things for their loved ones. But there's always this demographic of people that are left out on Valentine's Day. The single folks, the folks that don't have a significant other or have been through bad breakups or are rebounding off of a bad one or whatever the situation is, and they're lonely and they don't have anybody. So what I did was, in the month of February, I kind of incorporated this idea that I had. It's called Love Yourself February. Now, here's how it works. You guys can all be involved with this too if you'd like to, but I'm going to fill you in because I'd love to be able to see exactly what we can get generated from this. I've already received 2 or 3 of these, so I want to let you know that the ball's rolling, and it's been great so far anyway. So Love Yourself February is this. How often is it that we look at ourselves in the mirror and we say to ourselves all these negative things, right? You're overweight, you're fat, you're gross, you need a haircut, you haven't shaved in a while. It's just like all these little things that we see of ourselves in the mirror. And we look at ourselves and we degrade ourselves. Or we always give the yeah buts, right? I know I talked about this in the podcast before. When we talk about yeah buts, somebody says, hey, you look really nice today. Yeah, but I probably could have done this. So, hey, you know what? You did a really good job on that assignment. Oh, yeah, thanks a lot. But, I probably could have done a little bit better on this thing. We're always yeah butting. We're always belittling our work and the things that we do and the things that we should be super proud of by just giving the yeah buts. And we literally degrade ourselves with every single thing that we try to do because that's what we do. We're humans. Human nature is that we belittle ourselves rather than lift ourselves up. So for the month of February, this is what I'm doing. Love Yourself February is, I want you to grab a piece of paper, and I know I've talked about this already, but I want you guys to hear it. I want you to hear it in full force. And this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to accept all of these up until about the first week of March, then we're going to shut it down. But here's what we're going to do. I have a P.O. box. Are you ready? Do you have a pen and paper? Because if you have a pen and paper, I will speak of the address that you need to send it to, and then hopefully you write it down and you can get it, okay? So the address is, of course, my name, Shane, S-H-A-N-E, my last name, Leketa, L-E-K-E-T-A. And my P.O. Box is P.O. Box 1718 in Scarborough, S-C-A-R-B-O-R-O-U-G-H, Maine, M-E, 04070. So that's my P.O. Box. And so what people are doing is they are taking a piece of paper, whatever they want to be able to do, whether it's a piece of paper that they want to do art on, whether it's a piece of paper that they want to write a poem on, whether it's a piece of paper they just want to bullet point items, some stuff down and be able to talk about it. But they're listing out 2 to 3 things that they love about themselves. Self-Love February. This is a way for you to be able to actually celebrate in something that you're proud of yourself. Actually celebrate something that you love yourself for. Something that you're good at. That you don't celebrate enough in because you just accept the fact that this is just what I'm supposed to do, when rather to take the moment to sit down and actually park in that space to celebrating yourself is important. It's relevant. It's something you need to do. We all need to do that every once in a while, just to right-size some things. Like literally, we're so faced with all these negative things that we talk about ourselves and whatever else that we tend to then get right into that mode of doing that. And it really sucks. It really sucks because then we start to look at ourselves in a really negative lens when really you should be looking at yourself like you're a rock star because you're getting through it every single day. You get up, you put your feet on the ground, you ground yourself into the earth. You think to yourself, what am I going to do today? What are my goals today? How am I going to go to attack it? What do I need to do? Do I need to be the best that I can be at work? Do I need to be there for family? Whatever it is that you do, and you're lining this up in your life and you're trying to be able to create some sort of normalcy or some sort of thing that you're trying to be able to do or accomplish goals and whatever else, you're fighting the good fight. There's nobody that can take that away from you. Even if people try to berate you or try to tell you that you're not good enough or try to tell you that you're not doing well enough or you're not striving quick enough or anything like that. Nobody can take that away from you because every day that you get up, you grind. Every day that you get up. And it may not be a fast grind. It may not be something that's like lightning speed where you're running marathons and you're doing whatever. It may be a slow pace. And it may be such small little baby steps that you're taking. But guess what? They're baby steps. They're steps in the right direction, and you're doing it, and you should be able to celebrate in something like that. But we don't do it enough because we are way too critical of ourselves. We belittle ourselves, and we shut ourselves down. And those little steps, what do you think automatically ran through my head just now? I thought to myself, I'm not losing weight fast enough, or I'm not growing in the company quick enough, or I'm not making as much money as I was before, so I'm less than, or anything like that. We start belittling ourselves and berating all the things that we're trying to be able to accomplish every single day. And we really shouldn't do that. Start to begin to love yourself. And you know what? Here's the funny thing about the whole entire situation. When I talked about this and I brought this to TikTok and I brought it to Instagram and we started to have some conversation in some of my lives of Love Yourself February. And yes, we are through, the 8th or 9th of February already, and I've only gotten 2. And I've gotten many emails and many messages and direct messages and text messages and whatever else of people that are having just such a difficult time writing down 1, 2, or 3 things that they love about themselves. Now, isn't that sad? Isn't it sad that we're so wired and we're created in this way? And society has built this, and we've followed suit and done everything that we had to do to be able to be in this space that we're in right now, based on what society tells us and what people tell us and all those things. Where we have such a difficult time complimenting ourselves, loving ourselves, treating ourselves kindly. I talked about many, many times before. If you wouldn't talk to your kids in a certain way, then why are you talking to yourself that way, right? So, Love Yourself February is all about making sure that you write it down. Now, you might ask the question, why can't I just send this to you electronically? Why can't I text it to you? Why can't I email it to you? Why can't I do something like that? Well, at the end of the day, you have all heard me say this 1,000 times on this podcast. And for any of you newcomers, you'll hear it 1,000 times more. When it's on paper, it's on purpose. And when you think about something and you write it down, it then becomes a reality. It's no longer just a thought rummaging in your head. It's no longer something that just spins around your dome and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, I could be better this way, or I could be doing this or whatever. Now it becomes a reality because you're writing it down. And when you write it down on this piece of paper or postcard or letter or whatever else you're doing it on, newspaper or whatever, however you want to send it, and you send it to that P.O. box I just referenced, I then will take every single one of these entries and I'm going to send you some stickers back to you. It could be a sticker that says kindness just because. It could be a sticker that says Liquidshano Radio. It could be another sticker that just got a brand new design of Liquidshano Radio. And I can send you these stickers for just sending me these thoughts. Now, that's just a gift from me to you. Okay. It has nothing to do with Love Me February, or Love Yourself February, but it's a nice thing to have, right? People like stickers. But here's the thing. So now you write your thoughts down. You got them written down now. So now they're real. Now the fact that they're on the paper, the ink has flowed through the pen, and now it's on the paper. It's real. Now the second part of the real is now I'm going to put it in an envelope, and I'm going to ship it, and I'm going to send it to Shane, and Shane's going to read this thing, and now he's going to see my innermost thoughts of what I feel about myself and how I love myself. And he's going to read this. Now it's not even a reality anymore. Now you have released it into the atmosphere. And now these things need to be said. That reality is now your truth. That dream that you might have had rummaging in your head where you thought about certain things and maybe every once in a while you might have complimented yourself. Now it becomes more of a reality. So not only are you proving it to yourself by making it on paper and on purpose and writing it down, but now you're sending it to somebody else for them to read what you just said or what you just wrote. And now it's even more of a reality. So now you're sending it out in the atmosphere and it's now a reality. Or if you wrote something like, I'm really proud of the way that I am as a dad, or I'm really proud of the way I am as a mom. I'm a really good parent. I don't want to give you any ideas because I want you to come up with these on your own. But let's just say, for instance, those are some of the things that you wrote down. And now, instead of just assuming that that's just what you do because that's what parents are supposed to do, now you can actually park there for a minute and say, I'm a damn good dad and I'm a damn good mom. I deserve the recognition. I deserve some accolades. I deserve an attaboy. I deserve an attagirl. Right? That's the purpose of this. So no matter where you're at, no matter what your relationship status is in the month of February, no matter how you're feeling, where a lot of people feel depressed and down in the dumps and all those things whenever it comes to Valentine's Day, well, here's the thing. Love Yourself February is for everyone. So not only am I spreading it on TikTok, and not only am I bringing it to my Instagram game, but I'm bringing it to all of you, my podcast listeners, the people that listen to me religiously, that listen to me no matter what, and download the podcast. Even if you're bored with it, you still listen to it. And I still get compliments, and I still get comments, and I still get all these different things. And that humbles and amazes me. But at the end of the day, this Love Yourself February, this Love Yourself month is for everyone, including me. And I'm going to share mine with you near the end of the month. So what I'm going to do is when I get those, not only am I going to send you stickers, but at the end of the month, I'm going to be drawing two people at random, two people that are going to be able to go into my merchandise store and going to be able to pick an item, a hoodie, a mug, a t-shirt, workout shirts, a dress, whatever it is that you want to be able to do with any of my merchandise. And I'm going to be able to draw two people at random to get them for free. And that's just for writing down some thoughts. That's all it is. Now you can see why I'm doing this, right? I hope you can. Because we're so critical of ourselves and we're so down on ourselves that it's good not only to be able to talk about ourselves in a positive light, but it's also good to be able to celebrate ourselves and be able to put ourselves into a better place. As a matter of fact, I already got an email, or actually, sorry, a direct message from somebody that said, I've been working on my list, and I started off with 1 or 2, barely able to write on a piece of paper, and now I have 20 or 25 things written on this piece of paper that I love about myself, and I love this exercise. Thank you so much for doing this. Guys, that's what it's all about, right? To feel good about yourself, to lift yourself up, to not always have to rely on other people to encourage you or give you the pat on the back. For you to do it yourself can matter even more because you're your own worst critic. You're the person that beats you down the most. You're the person that's the most critical of everything that you do. Everything. The way you look, the way you feel, how your body feels, and whatever else. You're your own worst critic. You beat yourself up. You call those things out every single day because that's what we do. So this month is love yourself. And show yourself some love and lift yourself up and encourage yourself. I hope you partake in this. And if you do partake, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, leave some comments for me that you're going to be able to do that. Send me a message. Email me at liquidshano1973@gmail.com. Whatever it is you're going to do, I want to be able to see you get involved. I want you to be a positive reinforcement of yourself. I want you to be an influencer of you that's going to encourage yourself to do the things that you always wanted to do, to lift yourself up and not belittle yourself, but rather encourage yourself to do all the things you've ever dreamed and be the person that you want to be. Okay, so that was my tangent for today. So I wanted to go into one other thing that I wanted to go over. And this is just me, not necessarily venting, but it's me sitting down with you to be able to talk about my thoughts and my feelings about something. So recently on TikTok, I put out a video that basically said, hey guys, listen, your worst day might be somebody else's best day. So it's not that bad. Put one foot in front of the other and let's go make it happen. And it was as simple as that. What is that? 15 words? 16 words? Your worst day is somebody else's best day. Now, I had a couple people. I had a lot of really positive reinforcement. So many people saying, oh, I never really thought about it that way. You're so right. My bad day today that my carpal tunnel was kind of ill, or I wasn't feeling all that great this morning, but I know that I'm living and breathing and I have a roof over my head and I've got meals on the table. I've got kids that love me and whatever else. But I think of it as being just a horrible day. So I think of it as being the worst in the world. And so I belittle it and I maybe blow it up beyond proportion to be able to make it seem like it's even worse than what it really is. My point is that perspective is everything. And if you think about your worst day, somebody else that's out there that's very less fortunate is looking at you going, I wish I had it that good, right? So here's the venting part. I had a few people that took total offense to what I was saying. They came at me. They said, you don't know what a person's worst day is when they've seen things like, rape or things like molestation or things like poverty or whatever it is. And they went through this long litany of all these things that they wanted to go over with me to show how inconsiderate I was to other people or anything like that. Here's my thoughts. I don't normally take offense. I got some pretty thick skin. I really do. And when people come at me about stuff, I get it, right? I don't talk politics on this podcast. I don't talk about any of that stuff because I just feel as if we're so divided right down the middle. There's no real discussion about anything that goes on without one side or the other going after the other, right? So I try to keep it pretty equal. I try to keep it a level playing field across the board so that way we can discuss and we can have conversations, we can grow, we can learn, those kind of things, right? I try to keep it above board. And in this situation, I had no idea that I was going to catch the back end of somebody that was so upset over the fact that I said that your worst day is somebody else's best day. Now, I don't know if you know what I meant by when I was saying that, but I meant it exactly as I said it. Because we blow things out of proportion. We literally take some of the things that we're going through to make it seem like it's the worst thing in the whole entire world. How many times have you gone into work or wherever, a job, school, whatever, on a Monday? And let's say, for instance, you're sitting at the desk and something happens. Maybe your coffee spills on a couple documents, or maybe something hits the floor, or you break a glass or something like that. And you're thinking to yourself, man, I hate Mondays so much. Mondays are the worst in the world. I dumped my coffee on my paper, which didn't kill you. You can reprint those. I broke that on the ground. It doesn't mean you can't replace it. You got another one around here somewhere, so we can go ahead and do it. All these things that we do, we literally blow things out of proportion to be able to, I don't know if it's to make ourselves feel better. I don't know if it's to put ourselves in a different frame of mind where we know that it really isn't that bad. But we make it out to be horrible. We make it out to be the worst situation in the whole entire world. Even when it comes to things like chronic illness, or it comes to things like being overweight, or it comes to those kind of things where we have steps and procedures that we could put into place, but sometimes they're difficult and they're hard and they take work and they take energy. And then we're all just frustrated by the fact that why does it take so much work just to live a normal life and live like a clean way of doing things, right? We all get in this space. I know exactly how that feels and where that's at. So my concept and the purpose of me talking that way and saying those words was because I wanted to be able to give you perspective. What lens are you looking through? Are you looking through a deficiency lens where everything is just so horrible, where everything is just so bad, you're never going to be able to get to where you want to get to because you doubt yourself or you're not feeling it or anything like that? Are you looking through a deficiency lens as being the fact of it's never going to happen to me, so why do I even try, or anything like that? Or are you looking through a lens of positivity? Are you looking through a lens that's efficient and a lens that when you look through it, you can see potential and you see things that could be outcomes of really good things that as you're trying to dive into something or you're trying to be able to do it, the outcome can be positive without that whole negative saying of I shouldn't have tried that. Why did I go after that? I should have known that I couldn't do that or anything like that. We live in that space way too much. And like I said, when we blow things out of proportion, we make it literally seem like it's the end of the world. So my point was, we need to stop doing that. Like, at the end of the day, are you living? Are you breathing? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food on your table? Do you have gas in your car? You got a job? You have family? You got loved ones out there? I'm listing out a bunch of different things that normal people do have in their lives. But we don't celebrate in those because we always park in the space of, I don't have this. I wish that I had that. I wish that my life was better. I wish I had $1 million. I wish that I had perfect health. I wish that I had all these things that we continue to layer in of the things that we don't have, that we wish that we did, literally bring us down. They bring us down and we blow it out of proportion. All of us. Every single one of us. Every single one of us have had those moments where we literally took something that's so minuscule and small, that's minor in our lives, and made a mountain out of a molehill. And we sit there and we talk about it and we like, oh man, it's the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. I can't believe this kind of thing happened. I can't believe this went on, or blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? All the things that we go through, we literally sit there and look at it like it's the end of the world. And all my point is change your lens. Flip the script. Put the glasses that have a little bit more of the intensity on them and take a look at your life in a way that to be appreciative of the things that you have, just like I was talking about with Love Yourself, February, right? Instead of talking about all the things that I don't have, with the relationships that I don't have, or the girlfriend or boyfriend that I don't have, or the bad relationships that I've been in the past that I used to have that I don't have now, instead of always looking at all the negative things and the things that you don't and that you're lacking, let's look at the positive things that you love about yourself, that you appreciate about yourself. List out all the things that you actually have going on in your life that are actual positive things. Even if some of them do seem kind of negative, like when you say a thing like I have family, but the family drive you up the wall and crazy, they're still family. They still love you. They still care for you. even if it doesn't seem that way. That's my point. My point is to change your lens. Change the way you look at things. Change your point of view. Go from being a ground level to being a bird's eye view on things. Look at things from the big picture. It's only going to help us in life. Whether you're talking politics, religion, whatever else. I always talk about how I don't talk about those on the podcast. But one of the best ways to be able to get through things, to be able to discuss things and learn from each other, is to take a bird's eye view and get from out of the weeds. Get off the ground and step above and be able to go, oh, you know what? I never thought about it that way. I never thought about the fact that I have a really good life. I never thought about the fact that I have a car that gets me to work every single day. I never thought about the fact that I have legs that actually get me to walk around and do the things that I have to do. I never thought about the fact that I have a really, really a dedicated wife and a kid who's 16 going on 30, yet I complain about him all the time, but he's a really good kid. And he's thoughtful and he's kind and he's motivated and he's driven and all those things. But I don't park in those spaces. I park in the spaces of he doesn't listen to his mother. He doesn't listen to his dad. He always wants to do his own thing. He's always 16. He always wants to be away, never wants to be around us. All those things. We park in the negatives because it's natural and it's human nature. My point was, start to look through things from a different lens. Look through things from a different perspective. Your best or your worst day is someone else's best day. You don't have it as bad as what you might think you do. So take inventory and look at all the things that you're doing in your life to make sure that if you're complaining about something, it's worth complaining about and not just to complain. All right, guys, so that's my podcast for this week. To spread the cheer. If you like, again, like I said before, I'll put it also in the body of the text of the podcast itself. Spreadthecheerusa.org. You can vote there. And I'm in two categories, art and motivation. If you want to vote for me, I would deeply appreciate that so much. Also, if you guys get a chance, if you're listening on Apple or any of the other platforms, if there's an ability to be able to leave feedback for the podcast, please do so on any of those platforms. I would really appreciate it. Just for new people that want to be able to see what the podcast is all about, they want to be able to see it. They can read about it first. I know a lot of times we look at reviews before we go in and buy something or purchase something. This is a great way for people to be able to understand what this podcast is all about before they even press the play button on my voice, right? So that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the support, all the people that lift me up and encourage me to move forward. I hope this podcast was a good one for you. Spreadthecheerusa.org. I'm going to bring on Danielle here soon in the next week or two to be able to do an interview with her. And then also just remember, change your lens out to change the perspective that you have. Don't forget to celebrate in you and give yourself a little bit of self-love in the month of February, okay? Do the letter, write it down. It doesn't take but a stamp to send it out. And then I get it and I'll send you something back in return to be able to celebrate in that. I love all of you. I appreciate you all so much and we'll talk soon, okay? Thanks.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please do us a favor and leave feedback and a 5-star rating on whatever platform that you use.